Hello, and thank you for joining me on my podcast and YouTube channel. Being here means a lot to me. Listening to what I have to say even means the world to me. So today I want to talk about an experience I had the other day while I was watching music videos, and a music video uh, came out by Pink Floyd, if you know the song, The Wall. Basically, it's the song about students being upset with their teachers, and they kind of want to rebel and not follow the rules and all that. And in the video, there is a scene where basically those students are lined up walking in a straight line, basically, and they fall into this meat grinder and they come out, like ground meat, basically it's like a sausage factory. And I felt like this is the grinder that American people have to go through every day to come out. Everybody just like everybody is like everybody else, and there's conformity rather than individual rights and individual values and people basically representing themselves. It's basically like a bandwagon process. Everybody is the same. In a country where individual freedom is preserved and encouraged, and the individual achievement is extremely encouraged and favored, in this country, we find a lot of pressure for conformity and a lot of pressure for the herd mentality. So they want to feed you information and they want you to digest it their way, or maybe not feed you the information at all. And I'm talking about the press, the main press, the big channels that you know about, that want to give you they're not really giving you news anymore. It's mostly they're in the commentary business, in the business of basically shoving their opinions down your throat. And I'm talking about all Americans now, from all sides, all walks of life, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, you name it, unaffiliated. They basically want to drive the narrative and they want to drive what's important and distract you with things, just like what happened with the Super Bowl incident, right? The incident is you had a performer that was a Spanish speaker performer, and he did his job and he did his performance, and whoever booked him, and he basically responded to that. But what they were trying to do is distract you from the real issues that you are suffering from as an American citizen. Okay, nobody cares who performs in the halftime of the Super Bowl, really. That is not an issue that anyone should pay attention to. Okay, I'm telling you the truth and the honest truth. You shouldn't care who performs, okay, during the halftime Super Bowl or any other day, what performer said what, because you have the choice to tune out. Okay, so don't let them get you worked up and try to sneak a few issues, this, that, Spanish versus English, and this, and all these things that, or this against that. That's all bogus. That's only happening because we are approaching midterm elections and they want to distract you with anything. And it starts with the halftime Super Bowl, then, it leads to other events as we get closer and closer to the elections. Remember, uh, what are your main problems right now? High interest rates, affordability of housing. Nobody can afford to buy a house anymore. How are you supposed to have a family if you can't afford to buy a house? Okay, how are you supposed to have a family if you Your job is not secure. You know, all these things that matter to the American person. Inflation is high. It's ridiculous what we're paying right now for things we used to pay hardly anything for, and now we're paying a lot of money for them. I'm talking about basic things. I'm not talking about, the expensive items and the brands, and, I'm talking about food. Okay, everything is expensive. And they try to distract you with this performer, Super Bowl, this, that, all these issues that really, the end of the day, don't mean anything to you because they don't really affect you in any way. But what affects you is inflation affects you, job availability affects you, buying a house or even being able to afford rent affects you because that's how you start families, right? So the people that talk about immigration, whatever, okay, you can't not have immigration when your population growth is going down because the affordability issue, and you can blame your government representatives for that affordability issue. And yes, this is a free market economy type of country, but that doesn't mean people with money and companies can walk all over people. Everything in moderation is really good. I'm not pro labor and I'm not pro big companies and corporations either. To me, everything in moderation is good. And I just want people to stay focused. And today, while I was in the grocery store, I was walking out, I saw this young lady had a bunch of petitions here in California about housing, about, multiple things, helping the school districts maintain their budgets and all that. And all these things were, good things, and that made me happy. There is a young person trying to change things the best they can. She was standing there. It's cold, and she's standing there trying to get people to sign on all these different petitions so they can go on the ballot come November, and people in California can vote on them. And I'm sure that's happening in every state in this country. So I applied this effort. Even when I don't agree with it, I applaud the effort. I actually give people a lot of credit for trying because what I learned in the Army, when I was in the officer candidate school, a decision is better than no decision, and movement is better than a standstill situation. And I'm urging you all to go out there and vote or sign petitions or even participate in the creation of petitions. What we can't have is we can't have the same old thing keep happening over and over. And in my videos, generally, I talk about, the things that I went through in my life. And I have many topics because I've done a lot in my life. I learned a lot from my military service and having worked in the federal government to kind of have an understanding of where the issues are. And I've done things in the military that people actually honestly dream of doing, and I've been to places I never thought I would go to. So that's why I have all the experience, and the story is to tell you, to help you see things clearly from the ground level, not necessarily from the high level, the general, the bold title in a newspaper or a website. I'm giving you the details, how these big things that happen, how they affect you all the way at the ground level as an American citizen. And in my opinion, I'm trying to tell you, is nothing's going to change unless you make a change. And making change doesn't happen by arguing about who performed the halftime during the Super Bowl. It has nothing to do with anything, honestly. You don't like it, don't watch it. You know, it's that simple. Um, you know, and that's how you tell the people that organize these events what your taste is like. Hey, I'm not going to watch it if they don't get a lot of hits on the event where people are, then they won't do this again. And if that's, if that means a lot to you, that's how you take care of this so it doesn't happen again. But using the Super Bowl event to distract you from the upcoming elections or what the government is doing and the things that you need to pay attention to that really should be meaningful to you is unacceptable. And they've done this for years. This has been happening since the 50s, okay? It's nothing new. It's nothing new. But what happened is from between the 50s and now, it's gotten a lot worse. And it's out in the open, right? And they have no shame anymore to talk about it. They have no shame of saying, yeah, they want to restrain your freedom of speech and they want to stop you from saying this or saying that. So take your country back, okay? Take your country back by voting for people that are willing to defend you and be there for you, regardless of their political affiliation. Okay, that's another distractor that they throw out there for people. Oh, Republican versus Democrat or this or that. I'm telling you, pay attention to the detail, pay attention to the meaningful things. If you're not happy about the gas prices, then vote for the people that will lower gas prices. If you're not happy about your grocery bill, pay vote for people that will basically fix that for you because everything can be fixed. That's the beauty of America. Everything can be fixed, and there's always a way out from whatever situation you're in. There is a way out. That's a fact about this country that no one can take it away from you or the system in this country. So just please pay attention and be alert. Okay? Thank you so much. Please subscribe and like and comment. I'd like to hear your opinions about what I'm saying so I can respond and address them and, have a nice, healthy dialogue out there. That's really what we all want. We are all about America first. And that's why I'm doing this because for me, America is first and it will always be that way. And I wanted people to know, give them some kind of help understanding how America can be first and the things they do to distract you from the America first. Have a good day.